one of the things I really want to talk about with Taiwanese Wild Lily is that there is this thing that we do as humans. I do it all the time, more than I would like to admit that I do, where we have a feeling or an emotion or something arise. And then instead of just dealing with whatever that is, we overlay something on top of it. Like in the blog post I wrote, like your inner military general or your inner bossy girl, or the inner critic or the inner self blame or the inner self hatred or the, you name it. So, first, this thing happens. We have a response to it. And then there's this other part of us that clamps down and says, you shouldn't have this response. You should be nicer. You should be kinder, gentler. You should not feel that way. You are wrong for feeling that way. When are you going to grow up? Shouldn't you be more mature? Why are you having feelings like that? Those are some examples. So now not only are you dealing with whatever is arising that merits some form of self-compassion, rather than going to self-compassion, we clamp down and it's like almost like we suppress or repress even more with this inner part of ourselves that says, you shouldn't feel that way. Have you ever experienced that phenomenon? That is a phenomenon that can help us get stuck fast. It makes it so much harder to process the original emotions that arise or the original situation that arises, because now we've overlaid this maki mak on top of it. Taiwanese wild lily is a flower that can show us our tendency to do that. Though when we feel stuck, oftentimes it's because there's another part of us that's controlling, that is not allowing our softer, more vulnerable parts to be heard or seen. Perhaps there is something triggering an experience in your life, and there is a part of you that feels hurt or soft or tender or sad or grieving or whatever that may be. And when the bossy military general clamps down, not only is that energy not able to move, but you're just like you're locking it in place, rather than just allowing it to arise and experiencing it and seeing it and working with it with self-compassion. So if this is anything you experience, you're not alone. This happens to me a lot. I do this a lot. So something to consider might be to also offer self-compassion to that inner military general bossy girl, the one that wants to clamp down on how you are experiencing your life, and offer that part of you compassion as well. Literally, like taking this part of you and saying, I understand you're trying to keep everybody in line, and you don't want anything to go out of control, and your job is to discipline and make sure nothing goes awry, nothing unexpected or spontaneous happens. Keep everything under control. So I recognize that you want to keep everything under control, and I appreciate that. But if you can just hold for a minute while I can access this tender, vulnerable part of myself. So if you can move around that military general to reach the soft parts, then you can work with those tender parts with self-compassion. If that doesn't work, here's another strategy that you can try. Recognizing that whatever arises that is clamping down, whether that's self-criticism, self-blame, self-hatred, annoyance, a sense that you should be better or more spiritual or more mature or more understanding, etc. You can recognize that those parts most likely have been handed down to you in your family lineage or culturally or collectively, and that those parts actually are not you either. There is a sort of illusory quality to them that is not fixed. And sometimes just having awareness of that is enough to sort of loosen the grip and loosen the self-judgment and the self-blame enough so that you can actually work with the tenderness that's arising in the first place. So the question for this week is, when do you see evidence of any sort of inner military general or inner bossy girl or guy, or a part of your personality that wants to clamp down on yourself when you experience emotion?